Welcome everybody. It is another Tuesday in which we're playing Dungeons and Dragons Zotian Epoch. This is episode 34. Let's get some music going really quick. My apologies. That's a wee bit loud. Okay. We played last week, in which the party fought some cultists and are currently underground and safe from danger. Would anyone like to review and go over events of last week? Jog their memory a bit? Otherwise, I'm
Can you
happy to.
repeat that one more time?
Would anyone like to summarize last week to bring the viewers up and each other up to speed? Or I can do it as well. I'm open to it.
I can do it,
Alright, have at it.
or at
Always
least
help.
I'll try.
Well, it always helps me see what you have and haven't remembered, so I know where to focus on and stuff as well. Um,
uh, Last week, we were caught in the middle of essentially a weird combat scenario where we were trying to rescue the Baxi individual called Turtle, and he he was severely wounded, but we helped him get out essentially. In the midst of trying to escape the scenario we were in, we ended up Acris leaving to go find the Berry sisters, and the rest of the party, Crasted included, decided to follow Turtle into an escape hatch that was just there while we were being attacked by some wizard, apparently called Hunter for some freaking reason, who was being paid by the cult to stop us, I guess, or just be a pain in our ass, or both. Same six one, half dozen the other. And Samira got to see Leo what Leo actually looks like, which is, a cripple. And now we're resting in Turtle's home base shipbuilding cave. And we're trying to think of our next moves, I guess.
yeah, that sounds about right. So, last week the party was still at Turtle's cabin, having defeated the previous encounter, running into Turtle and essentially springing a trap. Now, the cult has been well aware of the party's movements for quite some time. They have a very annoying ability to travel unseen, and they're very good at being unheard as well. And so, essentially, they were aware that they'd likely be showing up to find Turtle. Originally, they weren't aware that the party was in Tarbent at all. But after observing them within the port city while they were wandering around, shopping, meeting people, and eventually getting a job that led them to Turtle's cabin, the cult had to scramble together something to um, potentially erase the group. They certainly did hire someone strong enough to do that, but luckily, Turtle happens to be quite resourceful and blessed by being born into the Berry family, who have essentially what is an ancient workshop that has been passed down through their family line, and it's accessible by the fresh berry blood only. That got them down into the cave. They spent the night in what is a dugout, former fallen workshop that's been utilized for quite some time. by the family to run their operations and build fantastic boats. The party is now well rested and has been staying in this cave overnight, eating the various emergency rations that Turtle had laying around, and just generally where they picking up their wound. I didn't mean to say picking up, but licking their wounds, taking care of themselves. Um, I guess I have nothing else to add to this. You have the floor. It is the morning after. You've all had good rests, good sleeps, and good food.
And of the current party, the only ones who are here currently are Vela, her octopus buddy, Samira, Leo, and Carasted. Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
All right.
Acaris escaped during the fight to go warn the Berry family and, tell them what's going on. And Guardian and Sebastian are back in town. You're unsure what their current status is.
Hopefully, Actress warned them.
Yeah.
Um. Hmm.
I think
Sorry, let me
Samira is
unpause it.
probably the first one to wake up, since
Okay.
she was one of the first ones to pass out.
Yeah, you wake up
But
by this massive furnace next to you. It still glows hot with embers.
yeah, I think last thing we saw with Samira was she was in the morning while she was eating, she was talking to her axe. And it's nothing, she doesn't have anything particular she's saying, kind of talking to her axe like it's a friend or someone, you know.
Is she doing this while sitting in her bedroll, just kind of after waking up, or and is
Yeah,
it
this is while she's eating, so she's probably turned to face the heat, and but yeah, she sat up, she's got her axe in her lap, just eating and chatting.
is it like a loud chat? Can others see it, or is it just kind of quiet?
It's not loud because she doesn't want to wake anybody who's not already awake, but she's not hiding it either.
Okay. As you're doing this, Crasted will make his way out of the tower. It's a 2-floor tower, nothing too fancy, and it doesn't really match the stonework that you're currently sitting on. It looks to be more contemporary, something that you're used to seeing in Zotian society. It's a bit more primitive and rough. As he's stepping out, he notices you sitting there and awake. His cloak is still on, but the hood is down. And as he's walking by, just kind of gives you a nod and makes his way over to the crane system and is just kind of looking up at it and wandering around and observing where he's at. It's not doing too much.
Yeah, I think once she's eaten, Samuro might get up and head on over and also join this strange new friend in whatever it is he seems to be observing. I think this is nothing quite like what Samira is used to seeing.
Surely not. Nor is Crasted. He's looking up and turns over to you. Oh, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
I trust you slept well.
All things considered, yes.
Excellent. I do rest myself,
Just,
but seemingly not the same.
how do you mean?
Oh, I'm usually quite awake, but not in the way that awake is normally felt. He looks up
I
at the
see.
mechanism next to you. It's towering over you. It's at least 10, 15 feet in the air. The top of this massive wheel with rope spun around it. I'm unfamiliar with mechanisms like this, but I've seen many strange things in my travels so far. As you're viewing this, it may seem a little ironic, as you've never seen a person like him before either.
No, no, I have not. There are a number of strange things out in the world, aren't there?
I've been discovering that. I spent the last few centuries in one building, so it's a it's a whole new world as far as I'm concerned. Very interesting people.
Centuries. In one place.
Yes, taking care of my family.
Your family.
Yeah, well, perhaps not related in the traditional sense, but a family of halflings that lives across the ocean. They went missing long ago, at this point. I suppose about a year or two ago.
Oh, not all that long in the term of centuries then.
No. For a lot of that time, even, I had lost my memory until, about 6 months ago, while traveling with this fine group. He indicates over to Leo, Vela, and the rest.
I'm sorry to hear you've lost your family.
He looks down at the concrete, or at the stonework, and just kind of mutters, "Me too. I hope they're okay."
I hope you find them again someday.
I'm not totally sure that I'm going to. The cultists, they were in our home when I did finally return to Stormfeld, and
Hmm.
having some experience with them, I'm not sure that they would have survived, and if they were still around when the cult showed up. They seemed
I think
targeted, trying to get to me specifically.
there's a very, very brief, very dark look that sort of just passes over Samira's face. Um, but it's gone in an instant. She says, if uh, if you can't find them, then well, maybe you can avenge them.
He nods in the way that he does, sort of rocking his torso back and forth, since he doesn't really have a neck. When your face did change that briefly, he seemed to pause and study it for a moment, and after hearing that, says, "I'm beginning to think that might be my best course. They were not warriors of any
Well,
sort, just kindly townsfolk."
if you need help, I will do what I can.
I appreciate that, new friend.
Samira,
Samira. Krasted.
good to meet you.
And you as well. Anyway, I think I want to
Sort of.
fill my brain with more weird things to look at. He sort of knocks his head a little bit and starts walking around some more.
I think Samira will sort of let Crested wander off, and she's going to wander down toward the docks here.
Okay.
Not for anything in particular, just to look out over the water.
Yeah, as you do, Vela isn't there, by the way. She didn't sleep on the docks overnight. She's in the tower. Um, as you're sitting there, there's a boat. Nothing too magnificent, just a sloop of some sort. It's floating next to the dock that you're on. If you looked further south into the cave, you'll notice that this pool of water with tall, very tall ceilings all around you. There's a rather unnatural opening where the waterway seems to wind off into the distance. It is quickly swallowed by the darkness. It's hard to see what goes beyond it. You can hear some water flowing, and that's about it.
Okay. The water itself, is it clear or muddy, or is it difficult to tell?
There's enough light in the cavern to see below, and what you're viewing is a cool, almost green, murky water, but it's clear. It does have a slight tinge of salt to it. Could be green just from the stonework or the sand below. Could be any number of things, but it's not muddy, but it's not like clear blue water.
Mm-hmm. I think Samira will just take a moment, sit on the edge of the dock, and she keeps her axe in her lap again and just sits quietly for a while.
Okay. Leo, what you up to?
Leo is currently. He's probably just sitting by the forge, I guess, furnace
Yeah,
thing.
it's a forge.
It, yeah, he's just thinking to himself while whittling at a random piece of scrap wood that he probably found lying around.
Okay. There's plenty of that. There's lots of cuttings and scraps and things just from various shipbuilding projects. Across from the furnace that you're at, or the forge, there's massive piles of timber and logs of all kinds of types and sorts.
He wouldn't pull anything from like stuff that looks like it's easily usable. He's literally just picking up a scrap piece, like I don't know, like
Yeah, there's cuttings and things that you can find laying around the ground, and there's more like tables and benches and things than what you see on the map itself. It's just simply representational for the kind of environment you're in.
Mm-hmm. He is also considering his next moves, I guess, because the cult is here. The cult is here, and this is the problem.
They are. They are absolutely here. They're upstairs, kind of in a way, but yes, in general, they're in Tarbent. They're in the Port of Taloran. They're on the continent of Baru.
Friggin', he had hoped that they hadn't spread out that far, but you know that was wrong, and now he's just kind of just thinking.
Yeah,
What should I do next? My friends are currently in town, and they might be in trouble, and I still am carrying a shit ton of diamonds in my bag.
oh, you have
As
them
he
with
looks
you.
over to his, yeah, he never left them anywhere.
Okay.
There's no place for him to leave them in town. So
Good
he
to.
has to take them with him.
I mean, you could have left them with the the kobold if you really wanted to. But
Could I have?
I don't know.
Anyways, he's just
He seemed honest.
considering. Sure he did. He's just making calculations and considering, like, what the heck should I do now? This is
I,
a problem.
as you're going through these thoughts, you'll recall that when you originally secured passage across the ocean to this place, it was through your criminal contacts who mentioned that there's not too much sympathy or issue with the cult at the moment over on the other side. They hadn't made too much of an impact on anyone. If anything, they were just rumors. However, your criminal contact did mention that if you go across the ocean, you might be able to get in contact with some people who would be more sympathetic to the concerns and the warnings of what the cult is capable of and what they're doing in general, ethically, morally, and just the implications of where they are going to end up and how it's going to affect people in general. Now, you did make contact. That would be the berries. Clever and rare. A couple that work in Baru. Or sorry, work in the port of Talorn. They hired you to go find their cousin, Turtle, who you've found and made sure he's alive. He's currently safe, but they are going to need to see him again. It's likely that this building of trust through this exercise may lead you to better outcomes and finding out what to do about the cult. The Berry family, specifically Rare and Clever, they are information brokers, and they hear a lot of things and they share a lot of things. But they had to basically see if you were the right staff. So far, you've managed to save their cousin, but he's not yet returned to them. It's possible that Akris will let them know, but for further allyship and solutions to the cult situation, you're likely going to have to talk to them again.
So, as far as Leo thinks, the next step is leaving here somehow and getting Turtle back to town so he can explain, oh yeah, the cult attacked me. The fuck?
Yeah. As you're contemplating this, Turtle will find his way outside of the front door of the I can't think of it. The tower, the turret, the tower, whatever. And he walks over, sleepy-eyed, puts out his hands over the forge, and just is like warming himself up. Notices that you're.
Samira.
Oh, go ahead.
Samira was just about to go looking for Turtle, I think, so she might be headed that way now.
Okay. Yeah, you'll notice a very tall gray tabaxi walking out, warming himself up by the forge.
Yeah.
Got a frog in my throat. Sorry about that.
How did you rest?
Well, it was a lot better than being tied up to a chair for a long time.
I am sure it was.
Yeah. So it's been a bit chaotic. How did you all rest?
Well enough.
Yes, it was quite pleasant. I'm very, very happy that we were able to safely get out of that situation.
I'm glad. I'm just glad we got under here before things got worse. It's well, my cabin's probably gone now.
I am sorry about that.
It's okay. I could make another. Um,
Though I will tell you, um, they probably aren't done yet.
oh, destroying it? I wouldn't be
Oh,
surprised.
no, I don't mean that specifically. I mean, they're probably not done coming after you, and they might be on their way to intercept or deal with your sisters, cousins. Sorry.
Yeah, it's my cousin and her wife. Um, but the poor little friend. But the thing I should let you know is the cult took me away, and on like a short notice, we were traveling south, and that's all I did know because I overheard them talking about it. But I was hooded, tied up in the back of a cart, and we were heading southward. Then I heard some sort of excited chatter or hurried chatter that came through, and some sort of messenger told them to turn around and take me back home. And, well, that's. For whatever reason, I was laid as a trap for you, but they kept asking me about various shipbuilding techniques and things that I have no idea why they'd have to kill me over, but they wanted me to build something. So, what I'm trying to say is that they wanted me for something and it seemed pretty serious. They're willing to take me away, and apparently I had some sort of skills for whatever they're seeking. Talks about reviving something or another, and it seems like you folks gave them a bit of a mess, and they thought that they could use me to get to you. So who are you?
Uh, so specifically me, I am a escaped subject of their torture and experiments.
Well, I'm sorry to
And
hear that.
I hate them with every fiber of my being, or at least what's left of it. And will politely say that while we certainly don't get along whatsoever, I want to kill them all. And unfortunately, they have more power, influence, and other things that I just can't freaking wrap my head around. The fact that they were here already isn't as surprising as it should be, but still surprising that they were active enough in the fact that one, they already knew who we were, and that we were here and decided to jump ahead of a schedule that may or may not have existed. And so I'm just confused by the fact that, you know, they took, kidnapped, and beat you half to death, and then just kind of let us go. I'm pretty sure we're just one of the ones that are highest on their hit list right now. considering that all I want to do is tear them down and, you know, I don't know, kill their god, I guess.
Sounds like you have some sort of history. But no worries. I don't think that that ancient hatch over there is gonna break down for nobody. It's been there for generations in my family. It's not normal stuff.
Hmm.
This cave in
They're,
general isn't quite normal, which I'm sure you'll see later. But we'll talk about it when we get to it.
yeah, I've noticed this place is nice, like absurdly nice.
Yep.
He
I mean, you seem to be making the most of it at the very least. So I mean, that's the good news.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's quieter than I'd like it to be. My grandparents used to talk about how uh, it used to be more busy in here and stuff, but for safety reasons, we try and keep this real low key for now, and we're doing fine with other business, so we don't really need to build ships too often.
Thinking of that hatch, I don't imagine we'll be leaving that way.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, unless you wanna die. I think they're probably there still.
Where does this cave lead?
Oh, to the ocean. You know, the
We'll get
Neanderthal channel.
quiet at the mention of open water.
wait, why?
That's a recent experience.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, it's secure on both ends. You don't gotta worry about that.
He rummages around in his pack and pulls out some sort of bread-looking snack and tears off a piece and starts eating it and holds it out to both you, just kind of gesturing if you'd like some.
Samira will smile at him but raise a hand and pass.
Leo, do you take the bread? He shrugs.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Breaks off a piece for you and hands it over.
Sorry, it's a little stale, but it's been a weird day.
Mm-hmm. Ain't that the truth? Well, it is not technically my fault. I do apologize for getting you and your family involved in this mess.
Oh, believe me, we were involved regardless. Um, it seems that
These
they.
people are legitimately insane.
I've gathered that. I've never seen anything like that. Was that a. Was that a dead gator? I'm confused. It was like I was dying at the time, so I wasn't quite sure what I was seeing. But it looks like there was a gator with two heads towering over the house.
I believe it was two creatures fused together.
He scratches his head.
Probably used some sort of magic or something.
That's
Never
kind of
seen anything
disgusting.
It was certainly necromancy.
Necro what?
Sorry, the uh, raising of undead.
Oh, I've heard about that in stories, but didn't know it was real.
That's quite the way to learn.
Yeah, I'll say. No, I'm not necrostist, am I?
Just like looking at his arm.
Not that I'm aware. I could have a look at you though if you'd like.
He puts a paw to his throat and is like feeling for a pulse seemingly.
I think I'm alive. Pretty sure.
Samira will sort of like step a little closer and offer to help him find his pulse.
Give me a medicine check.
Sure thing. 18.
Um, it takes you just a brief second, but you do find a good vein, and it's pulsing healthily at a rhythm you would expect.
Yeah. I'll guide his fingers to it so he can feel it himself.
Oh, okay. Yup. That's a me. I'm better with non-living machines, but you know.
Very much still alive, to my eye.
Yup, I feel it.
And he like kind of pounds his chest a little bit. Despite his uh, diminutive voice, he's rather large and muscular, so it's always kind of a juxtaposition as you're interacting with him.
Yeah. Forgive me, I'm new here. Who were those people that attacked us?
Well, I just know them as cultists. They're new to me. It seems like this one-eyed fellow over here has a bit more interaction with them.
He gestures to Leo.
Huh? What?
Samira's wondering who these people are that attacked. She's unfamiliar with the cult.
All right. So
If you don't want to, I'm
these,
happy to like fill in somehow. Don't worry.
uh, you can fill in some of the gaps that I obviously have.
Sure.
Leo explains that, as he understands it, these people are a human supremacist cult that uh, serves some god of some sort or another. Something about old ones, because Sebastian was the one who had all the knowledge about it.
Yeah, the
If he
scholar
can
is not
explain it.
present, so
Yeah, the person who knows everything isn't here right now. A few years back, they kidnapped me while I was on the run and tortured me, removed several, well, removed my limb and some other things as he kind of like brushes against his fingernails. They were destroyed in an attack against a party of people at some point, and I got pulled out of there, and that's pretty much the start of my current vendetta against them.
I
um,
see.
Leo will also explain various things further that I haven't been able to explain.
yeah. Let's just
If you would
say
assist me.
I got you. Let's just say Leo goes through several things, including how the cults. So Leo's from a town called Baklamel. It's on the other continent in the mountains. It's often snowy there, well, at least during the winter anyway. And nomadic tribes do come through that town, and they make their homes there during the winter to stay out of the bad weather. Leo, however, is a permanent resident of the town, and during his youth kind of fell into various criminal activities, perhaps out of boredom, perhaps out of desiring a thrill of some sort. Regardless, this eventually ended up with him running into the cult, as he described. Um, Later on, we'll just say the beginning of the campaign for simplicity's sense, he is hired along with some random adventurers that ended up in the tavern there, to go find the tavern keeper's son. And when they did eventually find her son, excuse me, they discovered a cult with access to things that were beyond what any sort of normal Zotian would have any experience with. You, especially Samira, being that you are part of a nomadic tribe, you tend to live a pretty low-tech life. This cult seems to be chasing down ruins and things of ancient interest in order to further their power, regardless of the other social issues that Leo mentioned. The cave that was discovered, as Leo mentions it, actually, I need to ask you, Leo, would you describe the full details of the hunting lodge, or no?
He would probably
Like, do you...
sidestep some of the other. He would explain portions of it, but he wouldn't explain the teleporting to a comet bit.
Alright, because, like, I'm asking, because, like, how much do you trust Samir is what I'm trying to gauge right now.
Um, enough to know that he shouldn't spill the biggest secrets yet.
Okay.
Because the biggest secrets are a problem.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel like inciting Samira at all as she's asking about this? Or Turtle?
Sure. Certainly Turtle.
Okay.
But yeah,
do you
I'll
want to just do?
insight.
Do you want to insight for both? Run one for each.
Sure. Just one or multiples?
Multiples. Declare which one you're doing it for though before you roll it.
This one's for Turtle. This one's for Samira.
Oh God.
This one's for the overall vibe.
Trying to get another in there. Okay. So, I don't think I'm gonna actually pay attention to that last one because that wasn't part of it. Nice try though.
That's fine.
For Turtle and Samira, unfortunately, as best as you can guess, they have honest intentions, but honestly, just because they seem to be normal in how they're interacting with you, not constantly trying to kill you or anything, you're just gonna maybe trust, and you don't know if you can trust them, but you don't necessarily see anything that's ulterior when it comes to speaking and interacting with them. I'll leave the choice up to you on what you do with that.
He has lots of thoughts. That's all he's doing with it right now.
Okay. So I'm going to gather that you just kind of cliff notes the rest of it. So essentially you talk about you finding Crasted, who Samira obviously knows about, and kind of getting him on his feet and sorted out, because when you found him, he was a complete mess, not even able to interact, talk, or anything. You got the help of some blacksmiths who did their best to, like, sort him out and make him a bit more functional. But he was really just sort of like a sputtering chatterbox that had amnesia when you first met him. Eventually, you made your way into the deserts of Aronia, trying to get him to his home, which is kind of in the north end of that desert. You ran into an assassin, and this was the first time the cult acknowledged you guys directly, because you've messed with their situation a bit, and you did manage to defeat him and escape him. But as you're traveling through the deserts, you managed to get to Crasted's house, discover that, well, before the cult revealed themselves, Crasted was able to heal himself using his special chair that he always used in the basement of his family home, in order to rest for long periods and to act as sort of a guard for the home itself. In doing so, though, it woke up Crasted in so many ways. It brought back memories, it made him more agile, it made him able to speak better. And it was revealed that, for game terms, that he was a monk in that moment, in the game, in the player class terms, and that he actually had some experience in dealing with combat and stuff. Prior to that, he was just kind of like a weird guy that you were trying to help out. I guess he still is that, but afterwards, you went into the Red Forest, discovered. Do you want to talk about the base, the cultist situation there, or do you want to keep that to yourself?
Yeah, certainly. He'll explain that for sure. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was death.
Do you mention the Spider Queen?
He'll mention her as an annoying piece of crap spider that can teleport beyond dimensions, apparently.
Yeah. So as he's regaling this tale, it seems a little fantastical, this thing that they're going on. He's now interacted with talking giant spiders that, in extreme danger, managed to call upon what seemed to be some sort of guard, and she went through some sort of portal to some other place. And shortly thereafter, they did find what seemed to be a base of operations, a crater in the middle of an ancient city that had lots of plant growth and erosion over the years on these buildings. But in the middle of it was a crater with a fleshy floor to it. The bottom of the crater seemed to be alive with something. And in the center of this crater was a large tower, at least 100 meters into the sky, made of melted and twisted bone. During this experience, Leo discovered that he was being followed and watched by thousands of eyes of cultists who had invisibility rings. As they've you interacted with them, they know that the cultists are basically mass manufacturing these things for their troops. And
somehow or another.
Yeah. And at the very least, whether they're manufacturing them or they discovered a giant trove of them, he's not sure, but they use them to great effect. And upon discovering this, the party escaped, ran through the forest as fast as they could, and that's what led them to where they are now, trying to find people sympathetic to building up forces in order to fight this cult, because they're clearly numerous, working in the shadows, and a clear danger to all Zotian life.
Mm-hmm. Besides humans, apparently.
Apparently.
While Samira is listening, can she pick up? Is there any sort of obvious emotion from Leo? He recounts what's going on, what the deal is with this cult.
Sure. I mean, I want to ask you to roll an insight, but I don't think it matters much.
We can always have players insight each other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
As long as you don't mind, just rolling it real quick, just to get a read on him.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's fine. The emotions kind of you sense when he talks about them, they're all generally negative emotions, just, the absolute disdain, hatred, disgust, and fear. They're the emotions that someone would have when they are facing an army that can't be seen by normal people. And this army just so happens to be the greatest enemy to life that he could possibly imagine.
Hmm.
And
And
he absolutely hates them.
so Leo, what was done to you? You they do this to others as well?
Yep. Even though the one up there said that that was just a separate branch, sect, whatever you want to call it, of their organization, they're all the same. None of it matters. At least whatever means they can to you to
Yeah, Leo,
do whatever they want.
as you're saying this, you might recall that in the well, let's just say in a certain part of the dungeon near Baklamel, you discovered piles upon piles of bodies. None of them human. All of them, or a lot of them, fit the description of various missing persons that you've seen posted up on the party hall's bulletin board and other various things as you're going through your travels. Or not as you're going through your travels, but back then, uh, you notice that there was a direct correlation in that they're causing missing persons cases. I forgot where I was going with that because you were saying something, but yeah, just bringing it up.
Oh no,
Oh, and
he would
that's where you
also
found Crasted
explain.
as well. Was on that body pile.
Yeah, he would also explain. There was a giant pile of bodies, and they were all various missing persons.
I see. Well, these sound like these seem to be enemies of the people, persecutors of the innocent.
Hmm. They certainly are, and their power and reach is not incomprehensible, but definitely a problem.
And you seek to stop them.
No, I seek to obliterate, annihilate, and destroy them. At least that's my eventual goal.
I
I
think we're
don't.
saying the same thing in different words.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, stopping them is the same as what I said. It's just maybe I'm going a bit overboard.
My purpose is aligned with yours. Consider me your ally.
Well, I greatly appreciate that. I could definitely use someone with a good sword arm.
Listening to all this, Turtleberry will just kind of scratch his chin and I like it, and look at you, Leo, and go,
I knew they were trouble, but I didn't know they were like that. I'm not an innocent person by any means, nor is anyone in my
Neither am
family.
I. Neither
Okay,
am I. I'm
fair.
not innocent at all. Like, I mean,
Okay, fair.
I
I mean, I
literally
don't go.
called myself a criminal multiple times during this conversation.
Okay, what's up, brother? So I don't really like
Hey,
go. I don't really go into uh, certain things. There are lines that I will not cross when it comes to my activities, but this seems like something far beyond anything reasonable. And it certainly sounds highly unprofitable. In how they conduct themselves. I gotta be honest.
Let me
I
ask,
agree.
would you harm someone who cannot defend themselves?
Who, me?
Either of you?
Oh, uh, I don't think I have. I don't intend to.
Uh, it depends on the situation.
Yeah, is it someone who can not defend themselves simply because they dropped their sword and they're attacking me? Then I'm probably gonna attack them still. But if it's like a child or like some random person living their life, no, I'm not gonna hurt them.
Exactly, like sort of like that.
It's not really how we roll in Tarbet. Like, yeah, we have a reputation, it's kind of a lawless land, but like, not all of us are monsters.
I've only been called a monster twice, so I mean, but that's mostly because of my looks.
I
I
relate.
understand. Well, I I don't know what your land's laws are, but the law is of less concern to me than what you do to the people around you.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have laws here except for the rules that are impressed upon whoever is in power at the moment, or in certain areas, save the city, for instance. Um, like, we kind of control our little block of the town, and then other people control their little block of the town, something like that. But in general, to Lord serves as a processing stage in world commerce. We'll put it that way. Some places do care about, following certain laws and stuff, and those of us in Tarbent, we're used to skirting around those things in order to make goods happen and people be able to afford their lives. And then there's, of course, jerks who deal in, like, slave trade and stuff. Like, that's absolutely a thing that happens. But that's not something I touch.
Good. I would have to kill you.
I mean, I
He
certainly don't
he steps back nervously,
kill
puts a
random
hand
people
on
either.
one of his hammers on the rack there that he's standing next to. But then quickly lowers his shoulders and his guard, trying not to be intimidating.
I certainly don't approve of killing in general. I was a smuggler. Like, I mean, that's all I did was just smuggle things. But
Yeah, that's most of what most people in Tarbet do. Uh, or to Lord, my
smuggling's
apologies.
easy work. It's safe. It's reliable. It's something that can be done constantly, easily, and you get to go to places. It's
And
kind of nice being
it
a
is.
smuggler.
And the margins can be quite nice depending on where you're going and what you're moving.
Exactly.
And,
The only time, like, besides, cultists, obviously, uh, they're the only people that I'll generally think kill this person on sight. But if they're like, I don't know, controlled or manipulated or have loved ones in danger because of them or etc. like that, if I understand, like, hey, this person, for example, here's an idea. Let's say, for example, someone kidnaps a loved one, a wife, a mother, a cousin, whatever cousin, and they say, "Oh, this person's doing this and blah blah blah, and now you need to work for us." Then I'll have to be just like, I'll have to consider, like, I shouldn't kill this person, but what if I say I'm going to kill, and the air quotes, this person, and then I turn around and backstab him, and we end up, not only saving the person and people that are kidnapped and enslaved by them, but also, stabbing a good one right between the ribs
This
yeah,
is
because,
a
they're evil
very
people.
it's a very elaborate scenario.
Well, of course. I'm just saying I wouldn't kill the person, or I would at least try not to. I would try not to kill the person who's being manipulated by them for whatever reason. I would at least, hopefully, if the chance arose and something ended up happening, uh, I don't kill somebody who's under the thrall of sadistic, evil people.
I think I understand.
I understand.
I
Just
will say I
so
haven't
we're
met the
clear.
cult until. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just to be clear, I take no issue with killing exactly. I've killed before. It's more of who and why that concerns me.
Hmm. I mean, I'm not going to sell drugs to minors.
I suppose
I'm
I
a
didn't
smuggler.
expect you to.
Sometimes I smuggle drugs, but I avoid, smuggling drugs to children.
Children are the
I'm
future.
Exactly. Even my crippled ass understands children should be loved and protected. Children should be allowed to be
yes,
children.
yes, they should.
I was gonna mention that I haven't met or heard of the cult until a couple weeks ago when I was kidnapped, but I gotta say, not a fan. I probably would kill him on sight too.
That is a surprise, though. You were
What is?
kidnapped a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. We were in that cart for quite some time, traveling southward, and then got word that you were in town or something. They rushed us back.
Huh.
We did spend some time in the cabin ahead of time. When they first captured me, they tortured me there, trying to get information out of me, and then eventually started traveling me south. Um, yeah.
That would mean their network can talk across the ocean at the very least.
That would be concerning.
Well, I mean, think about it. There were only a handful of people who actually knew we were coming here.
Yup.
Maybe a couple dozen people, but like,
Well, if they were able to observe you here, wouldn't it make sense they could observe you there?
exactly. And I need to find a way to see through that freaking shit they got. That's the main issue, is that I can't see through their magic items.
Yeah. That's some tricky stuff, I gotta say.
It certainly is. It's a problem for sure.
Also, for clarity, um, when it comes to the information of him being gone for weeks, when you first got the job from the berries, um, they said that Turtle had been missing for about a month at that time. So he's assuming it's been a few weeks or so. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And he's essentially been tortured for most of that time.
Yeah, I get it. Leo gets it.
For sure, for sure. Let me think.
Well, anyway, my cousins are probably worried about me. We
About
should get our.
when
Oh, go ahead.
about when did we get on the ship?
Um,
Like before we left.
so he was captured before you left. Essentially, when you got to town, it was probably a couple days after, and then like the travel um to to Lorne took 2 weeks across the ocean. So he had been captured about 2 weeks before you even left Aronia.
Hmm.
1 to 2 weeks before you
Okay.
even left. I would be clear in stating that his capture and your movements are not in any way related.
Oh, okay.
He was
It's
captured
the fact that
because
he
of
was
his.
brought here before.
Yeah, no, like, he lives in Tulorn. This is his cabin. Like, this is where he's from, and the cult does have operations across the ocean. It's not like it's not like the cult moved across the ocean just to, like, capture you
Yeah,
guys.
they
You,
were
you guys
already
are,
here.
yeah, your party is too small fry for that kind of thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they yeah, they already had a presence here, and Turtle was captured because of the criminal network in which he is involved in, and his particular rumored shipbuilding stuff that they have interest in.
About how long were you on the road on the way back, do you think, Turtle?
Well, I don't know, about half a week, something like that. From when we turned around to come back, but they were in a rush, for sure.
Okay. So, they rushed back here and it took about a week and a half. Let's say 2 weeks maximum. Do you know of any
Oh,
places that are
it was definitely quicker than 2 weeks. Like, I didn't see that many sunsets, but it's kind of hard when you're fading in and out of consciousness constantly.
understandable? I get it.
And I had a bag on my head most of the time too. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm pretty sure it was at least a week travels back. That's by cart, by the way.
And they didn't take you out at all during that time?
On occasion, so I didn't stink up their toilet or their cart with my toilet smells.
Oh, well, I mean, that would definitely make sense.
Yeah. And to dunk my head in the river sometimes to make me talk, you know.
Yeah. I'm so sorry you had to go through all that.
They're awful people. I'm not a fan.
Neither am I, as he just gestures to himself.
Why? What's about the timing?
I was just confused. They knew about us really quick. I was surprised for a second there. I don't know why.
They're probably opportunists, if anything. They probably saw you come into
Yeah.
town. But if you're saying that I was turned around before you hit the shore, right?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
they
trying to
probably
say?
heard about us. Yeah, they heard about us leaving and then turned around and came here.
That's a wild guess to choose to Lord. It's not the only port city along here. It's
I
one of the
know.
main ones, but like it's not like you would directly just go to Talor. You could have gone anywhere.
Exactly. But did they specifically know we were going to Delorn or not? That's my question.
I suppose they could have turned us around north just knowing that you were close to shore, but they would have had to spot you at sea.
Yeah. I mean, that's technically possible. We did get attacked by pirates.
Do you know
Might have been
who?
an invisible. What was their name again?
Diamond Cross.
Diamond Cross.
After you describe their flag, he recognizes it as Diamond Cross, and
Yeah, he describes the flag.
sure, yeah. Um, his eye, he, from what skin you can see, it gets pale. His eyes kind of get wide, and his eyes dilate.
You do not want to cross Diamond Cross. That's probably why.
I mean, it's not like I wanted to. They
They're the
literally just showed up out of nowhere and just like fuck it, try and attack us, and we defended ourselves, and then, we sank their battleship.
They were likely headed northward to the coast. Well, I mean,
The chance that
did you
there
take the
was
ship?
an
What
invisible
happened to the
cultist.
ship? I gotta know.
Oh, it sank.
Well, that's a relief. So the Diamond Cross, they're the kind of gang around here that even most gangs will bow down to, given a little bit of pressure. They're the kind of people that span many places, and this cult, I've never really heard about them, but if you're talking about a group that deals in the darkest things and, um, let's just say kidnaps people for purposes that they'll never get out of, the Diamond Cross is who is usually behind that sort of thing. Um, I had heard through my cousins that the Diamond Cross had a bit of interaction with some sort of new group, but that may have been the cult.
Yeah. I mean, that would
So,
technically make sense.
did the Diamond Cross boat have any cultists on it?
Not that I. Did we see any cultists on it?
Uh,
Oh, wait.
you did
Maybe
not.
one of those guys was a cultist. One of the survivors might have been a cultist.
Ah, you're having some thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
There were
Cultists are
survivors.
the kind of people that hide in plain sight. So,
Although that wouldn't work out with the timing, if you think about it, because
it
the people that you
wouldn't,
dropped off were
technically.
dropped off at the same time. So how would they have gotten the info to him before, or how would they have gotten the info out like a few days before he even hit shore?
Yeah, that's true. So probably
Good
wasn't
thinking
one
though.
of the survivors.
Good thinking though.
Yeah, Leo's paranoia is propping up again. He's overthinking.
It's okay. Happy to go through it with you.
Uh, anyways, Actress probably has made it back to town by now. Flew off the way he did.
It seems maybe we should get moving
We should
too.
probably, yeah, we probably should.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether she'll. I mean, it might be a better idea to keep her here as a guard, at least for now. Anyways, she can always come back whenever she feels like it.
Keep who?
Vela, Vela, if Vela
Oh.
wants to like stay here for a while.
No, Vela's likely going to go with you and go into town.
Fair enough. Anyways, how do we get out of here, Turtle?
Oh, we just gotta
Graham
take the
kinda
river to
stands
the
up.
ocean. It's that way.
He points to the rather tall opening in the cavern that goes into the darkness. It's like a hole cut that looks like it can swallow an entire warship.
All right. We should probably be making our way out soon.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go around and gather some things, and then we can take this sloop over here, and we'll head on to Talorn.
All right. Samira, do you mind if we chat a little before we head out while Turtle gets ready?
Not at all.
Great, I appreciate that. So, what are your thoughts?
On what in particular?
I guess mainly the biggest question I should probably ask is, do you want to fight a cult with us? With me?
These these people seem
Despicable, diabolical, demonic.
mm, certainly. Yes, I I'm sworn to fight these kind of people wherever I can.
Huh.
If you were not fighting them, I would fight them myself.
Well, I greatly appreciate that, just in general.
It would be good to have allies.
It certainly will. Uh, you're able to do a bit of supporting at the same time with your, and he like wiggles his fingers on one hand.
Healing?
Yeah, that.
I have some ability, yes.
Cool. So far, it's kind of problem being the only person who can do it.
Yes, I understand.
So far, I've just been trying to keep everybody alive till I, deal with my own nonsense. My own
Yes,
nonsense being the people that were, upstairs.
mm. Well, I can heal some wounds, but perhaps my greater strength is keeping you from suffering them in the first place, where I can.
Fair enough. Um, Not sure if you can do much with it, but he'll like reach into his bag, kind of reach in real deep, and then kind of twist his hand around a little bit, and he'll pull out a diamond, toss it to you.
Um,
Advance payment, we'll call it.
all right then. I suppose if we're going to be operating around cities, I'll need this money of some kind. Not that I don't
Certain.
have any, just
Well, yeah, I mean, I still have money beyond that. It's just, for now, this is the easiest thing that I can give you.
of course. No, it's appreciated.
Um,
Don't worry about it. As he comes outside, looks at his bags, we're like, I need to deal with that problem.
yeah, okay, so thinking about the problem that you're dealing with, you're aware that these diamonds are hot, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Do you tell
he's gonna
Samir
ask
that?
Turtle. No, I mean, it's
Okay.
literally it's just one diamond. He's just tossing her one diamond out of a bunch of them that are dirty, uncut diamonds.
No, they're
Or are
nice
they cut?
diamonds. They're cut. They're worth a lot of money. But I mean they're hot
Oh,
because they're from the Diamond Cross. Do you don't tell her that at all?
uh, hmm.
Just bringing it up because you did. I wasn't gonna say
Well,
anything,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
did. So I'm like,
I will say, it's one diamond out of 1,000 diamonds. If, and I mean if, somebody recognizes that one singular diamond as like, actually, you know what? Now that I've thought about it, hold on to that for now until we find a safer place to trade them off. If you,
Um,
if it, like I said, it's advanced payment. It's not something you can use in like a Lorn. Maybe. I don't know.
Turtle
Maybe you could use it for Lorn.
Turtle is walking out with like bags of things, heading to the ship. He sees this exchange as it's going on, and he looks over at you, Leo.
Leo, you didn't get that from the Diamond Cross, did you?
no.
I'm gonna need to roll an insight check.
I'm gonna need to roll a deception check.
Go for it.
Should Samira also try insight here?
Sure,
Would you like
go
to?
ahead.
You may.
I'll give it a try. Yeah. Just see.
Your
I don't think
deception
she picked
beat
up on
my
it.
insight, so it's a very good deception check.
Yeah, that was luck. That was all luck right there.
The turtle will look at you with suspicion, squint his eyes, and just go,
They better not be from the Diamond Cross, or we're all dead.
and then walks onto the dock and keeps filling the boat with stuff. Samira,
Samira.
you don't
Yeah.
see any dishonesty coming from him. Being that you grew up in the plains in a very rural nomadic lifestyle, you're not really used to the city slickers.
No, I gather, I've probably not seen a diamond like this before in person.
Okay, so Leo, you're holding on to that diamond, or do you leave that one with her?
Yeah, I'll leave that one with her. It's not
Okay.
much of a problem.
I
think.
brought you down to 1097 because you gave 2 to the ship captain, and then you've given 1 to her as well.
Oh yeah.
And
Leo's going to go and before we leave, he's gonna do a quick thing as we're leaving. He's gonna do something.
Okay.
He kind of he puts um he puts a rock in the bag on top and like fills the bag of diamonds with sand
okay.
before we leave. Like sand and sawdust and stuff.
So your bag has diamonds in the bottom, but it's got like sawdust and sand in it.
No, in the bag with the diamonds, because the bag with the diamonds is inside of his backpack.
Yeah.
Inside of the bag with the diamonds, he puts sand, sawdust, and a rock inside
Okay.
of it.
So it's just a random bag of weird dirt stuff. You got a
Pretty
bag
much.
of trash?
Yeah, it's a bag of trash now.
That's not suspicious at all.
Samira
There's
will
reason
tuck
for-
her.
There's a reason for this. I will explain it after we are leaving.
Samira will tuck her 1 diamond into a nice little pocket somewhere and
Okay.
hold on to that, I guess.
It's worth 5,000 gold, by the way.
Good to know. I don't think Samira quite knows that though.
She definitely does not.
Unless someone tells her.
No, she would not know the exchange rate.
No. She knows it must be valuable, but
Yeah.
not exactly how.
So after some time, the sloop is full, and the boat that's on screen is not like to scale or to size or shape or whatever. It's just a representation. But it is a single sail ship, or dual actually. There's one in the back too, being a sloop. Anyway, I like boats. Okay, I'm gonna get a little technical sometimes. The group fills up the boat. The lower deck has barrels full of goods and things that Turtle seems to want to ship back to the city. Perhaps things he's been working on or something like that. You can see him go and grab a few more things and then finish up and then beckon over to everybody. And,
I think when Turtle did emerge there, Samira would offer to help load things into the boat.
he agrees with gratitude and kind of points you to various things that he's trying to get into the boat. you'll find yourself carrying random wooden crates, bags of things, what look to be ropes and pulleys and stuff, just boat parts, essentially.
Samira is big and strong. She's happy to be put to work.
For sure. So, after some time passes, everybody is on the boat. You've all gathered your things, and Turtle is now over at the dock untying it. It's a small boat, but there's enough for everybody to walk around and find a spot to sit or stand or lean against the rail, that sort of thing. There's not much direction
It's
needed.
bigger than it is on screen.
Absolutely. Once Turtle's finished with it, he looks back to everybody and asks,
Is there anything anybody forgot or needs to do before we go, or we good to head out? It's about half a day's sail. If you need to use the restroom, I suggest you do it now, unless you want to, go over the side of the ship.
Yeah, I'll go do that now. He walks off for a second.
you find what is effectively an outhouse in the corner of the cavern.
Is there a trash pile anywhere? That's just an obvious trash pile.
Yeah, I'd say like trash pile of like wood cuttings or like trash piles and like people cooking and stuff.
I would assume it was both.
Well,
The place to dispose of the disposables, I'll say.
yeah, it's in the back of the cavern near the outhouse that you go to. You see just what looks to be unusable cuts of wood and other broken things and failed attempts at creating metal things. It's all just kind of in a pile. There's some wood scraps or some food scraps over in a bin as well.
Leo's gonna stash the diamonds over there.
Okay.
He knows where it is.
It now relies on a berry to get it back.
Yep, that's
Okay.
fine by me.
All right.
I don't mind if the berries are holding onto my insurance money.
Fair enough. You are now relieved of your diamonds. A
Cool.
weight.
Thank
A noticeable weight lifts from your shoulders as you leave it. It's been weighing on you heavy, more than you realized.
Yes, it has. Such relief for Leo. As he leaves, he's like, ah.
Yeah, not only did you leave some refuse, you left some heavier weights too. Thanks to Girlfriend
The
Quest.
heaviest of weights.
Yeah, it's hydrate time, so I ran out of water, so I'm gonna go get some water. I appreciate you, what's it called? Redeeming, that word. I'm even reading it. Thank you for redeeming your Finleys. It's always appreciated. I'll be right back. Okay, I have returned. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Cool. So, I need my notes. Do. Okay. As the boat begins to take off into the cavern, um, the hole in the wall essentially swallows the ship. It's towering above you. Looks like it can hold large ships and items and things. It looks like the sides of the cavern has been carved out expertly. It looks pretty clean, though time and age has worn the sides of it. The waterway seems to weave back and forth, just kind of slowly and lazily for a while. Stalactites above are dripping water down onto you. Up ahead, you hear a rushing sound. Sounds a bit like a waterfall. What do you do? Do you do anything?
I turned to Turtle. Is that normal?
What, the noise?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It'll take us up.
Oh, okay. Do we need to do anything?
No, as long as I have the rudder and the sails are furled, we're good. It'll take us all along. We don't gotta do much.
Alright. You say so.
Yeah,
I'll
just
trust
hang
Turtle.
on. Don't be caught slacking, I gotta say.
Leo ties a rope around a rail.
Right. Um, as the sound gets closer, you'll notice that up ahead of you is something you perhaps might not have seen before, for reasonable reasons. The water in front of you. You're to one side of this channel. It's enough to fit like uh, really large boats. As you've gone through here, it's like kind of opened up a bit. And up ahead of you is a slope, and it looks like water is coming rushing down at you. But as your eyes adjust to the dim light that's just kind of emanating off of the lanterns on the boat, you'll notice that to your left, water is crashing down at a rapid rate and ending up into the cavern waterway that you've been in. But to your right, or to the right, right in front of your boat, the water is shooting upwards on the slope as if it's a fast flowing waterfall, but it's going upwards at about a 30 to 40 degree slant. That's too steep, actually. 20 to 30 degree, but whatever.
And the water's flowing upward?
Yeah, away from your ship.
Leo is certainly confused.
As the boat gets closer, Turtle calls out to everyone,
Okay, everybody, hold on. It'll get fun right now.
and as soon as he finishes, the front of the boat catches on what seems to be water shooting up from underneath the waterway that you're on. As the water calmly goes up to it, it then churns and boils, and foam is forming, and it's launching upwards at a rapid speed. It catches the boat, and everything lurches inside the ship, and you all find yourselves hanging on just a bit tighter. Turtle kind of chuckles to himself, and the boat launches upwards into the not like into the air, but is being pulled along this river that is flowing upwards. Next to you, as you're going along, the ship is kind of shaking and vibrating, but it seems under control. But you can see that Turtle is sort of pulling against the wheel, trying to keep it steady as it's being tugged along at a really rapid speed, far faster than anything you're used to experiencing when traveling on a boat, except for the wind of the ocean. Do you do anything while this is happening?
Brace myself?
For sure. Give me strength check. In fact, Samir, I'd like you to as well.
Straight strength or athletics?
Straight strength. Okay, good. Um, as the boat is tugging you along, you both manage to grab a foothold. Leo, you've got the rope wrapped around your waist, and that's helping out as well. But as the ship is being tugged upwards, it seems to be that you're traveling for quite some time. If you look out over the side of the boat, you'll see that there's just a mysterious split in the water in which some is rushing upwards really fast along this slope. And it's beginning to wind back and forth kind of slowly, and the boat is like banking on these turns as it's going upwards. The water next to you, though, is traveling downwards at almost the equivalent speed, and there's little whirlpools in the middle as the two currents are flowing by each other. Um, After what seems to be a good several minutes, um, you end up at the top of this. Wait, hold on. Yeah. Um, After you reach towards what seems to be the top, you can hear audibly ahead of you that the cavern opens up significantly, and the spillway that you've been riding upwards on levels out, and then the front of the boat just comes crashing down onto the water in front of you, and it's still water for the most part, except for that at the entrance you just went through, and you are now sitting in a vast open pool of water. The cave is dark and quiet as water drips from stalactites above. Other than the sound of that spillway behind you, you can't hear much, you can't see much. Even though you do have dark vision, you'll notice that the edges of the caves are beyond your dark vision.
Holy crap, this place is massive.
Yeah,
It is impressive.
you can't be telling anybody about this place, or we will have to kill you. I mean that in the most friendly sense possible. Um, I need to go light something.
And he walks over to the side of the boat, grabs a long pole, lights the end of it, reaches out to the cavern wall, and he lights a sconce of some sort. This torch carries fire across dozens of sconces that light up the entire cavern. They just kind of go in this chain reaction. Boom, 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 boom. And they fill up the sides of the cavern as it bends upwards in an almost dome shape. This calm pool is full of seawater. You can kind of smell it, like when you're close to the ocean. The cave that you're in, as it lights up, it's so expansive that it could hold easily a dozen ships of the largest sort that anybody that you know has seen. Along the cave walls are various stonework docks that share a similar design to the ancient precision cuts the party is familiar with from the hunting lodge and the floor of the workshop that you were just in. Along the docks, these stonework docks, are various buildings of unknown purpose. They lay dormant and dark, but some seem to be original construction of that precise type, while others are standard, contemporary, primitive Zotian designs, the rough-cut stone, the haphazard woodwork and stuff, perhaps from different eras, and what looks like large flat areas for storing crates and other cargo. Some do have cargo sitting in them right now, various boxes and barrels. Hanging from the center of the cave above you, among the sconces and stalactites, is a polished silvery sculpture. It's hard to see how big it is because of how far away it is, but it's probably quite large. It's a silvery sculpture that looks like a blackberry or raspberry of some sort, with cat ears protruding from the upper end of the sculpture. It reflects light from the sconces in a way that brightens the cavern further.
Huh. Leo just goes, huh.
Hearing that, Turtle turns to you.
Yeah, this is the place many people have seen, not even allies of hers. Only trusted deputies and allies of the family are aware that this workshop and warehouse exists at all. Very few even of that have been in it itself. We haven't had a need for quite some time to have anybody working this operation in here. But it's been in the family for generations. Goes back beyond anything that we're aware of in written history. Um, but it does have the capacity to refit and rearm warships and perform many other useful sheltering tasks or warehousing tasks that we need, and it's an asset to the Berry family, I gotta tell you that.
I see.
As he's describing this, it has the distinct feeling of being a ghost town, something that's just mostly unlived in and hasn't been for quite some time.
What kind of armaments are on the ships, out of curiosity?
There aren't
The
ships.
older ones.
Yeah, there aren't actually
Oh.
ships in here. It's just large enough to fit ships, and there's docks all over the place. Any ships that you saw here are the ones that you're on, and those that have been relatively recently built down in the workshop below.
Ah, got it. Is it, how much stuff is in this warehouse, Turtle?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, sometimes we use it. We come down here. We store various things that we've been, holding on to, trying to sell and that sort of thing. And honestly, there's been some stuff down here since before my grandpa was born. So, but we can fill and supply a whole town or a city out of this place, maybe more. I don't know. This could house the army of an entire country, probably.
Well, that's why they're after it.
After
It
what?
makes sense.
Oh, the cult. No, you're right. I mean, that was
And
largely
if
why
there's
they were
as much,
torturing me, among other reasons. But like, they did keep asking about various descriptions that were poorly describing, and I gotta be honest, a bit underestimating of what we have here. But you know,
He just kind of smiles a little cheekily.
They want a place to stage an army.
most likely,
yeah.
especially close to Lord, so close. Like, if you stage an army here, you could take over that town, which then gives you control of a lot of world trade, because this is like the stopping point for a lot of people going south to north and east to west because of the continental channel above to Lord, where where uh, where they split. There's a lot of travel all through here. That's why Talord is so successful. And we're probably about a half a day's south from the city now.
Yeah. It would make sense, and with all the stuff that might be stored here, they would have supplies to literally fuel an army of warships.
I mean, yeah, when we were
It
kids, we'd
might
run around
take a
here,
year or two.
and you could find like
It might
old pieces
take
of
a year.
armor and all kinds of fun stuff in here.
Oh, neat.
Hmm.
Do you mind if I take a look around?
I mean, maybe briefly. Would it?
Oh
Are you-
yeah, we are on our way. Sorry, curiosity. This the scale of this is massive.
I mean,
I thought it was smaller, but no, I was wrong.
if you're interested in coming back and we get to know each other a little more, maybe we could do a little crate diving if you'd like. But I do want to go
Of
make
course.
sure my cousins are okay.
Agreed. Sorry. I do apologize. This is just
No, it's
this
okay.
is a lot. He is looking around like, holy crap, this place is massive. It's massive and empty.
Oh, it's depressingly empty. I wish we could have more people here, but this is a secret we do have to keep tight.
I saw nothing.
You sure did it.
I do have one minor question. That hatch back at your cabin, it's secure, right? Like 100% or like 90%.
The only way it'll open is through a fresh berry blood. It cannot be a vial of blood. It cannot be blood from a stage shirt or a rag. It has to be directly from a living berry, which I am one.
How many berries are there out of curiosity?
I'd rather not disclose that.
I'm. That's fine. I
But you've
understand.
met three.
Uh,
Well,
yeah,
okay.
that's fine.
Clever is not necessary, or sorry, rare is not you know, family by blood. So technically, she is a berry, but not like the kind of berry that could open this door.
Yeah, it's the direct descent thing. Got it.
Yeah, cause she married it.
I
I'm just worried about the rest
expect
of your family. That's really all it is.
Samira, you were saying something?
If you,
I was going to say I expect the concern is about the safety of anyone who might be able to open that door.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, um, they don't know about that ability to open the door. In fact, they didn't necessarily know of that entrance to this place, as far as I know. That's probably why they weren't expecting us to be able to escape. As far as I could tell, they were ready to kill you. In talks about the 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 hunter Tersk, um, I heard them talking about him at various points, and I'm pretty sure they were confident that he was going to kill you guys. But they didn't know about what I knew about.
It's true. Really glad we made it in time to get you out of there.
Yeah, me too. I can fight, but I can't generate, you know, the heat of 1,000 suns out of my palms of my hands.
That was terrifying.
Yeah, I've
Man,
never
he is
seen
going
anything
to
like
be.
that.
He is going to be a problem.
Probably. Probably. Regarding my family, though, most of us don't even live in this town or area. It's the Barry family is not from Baru.
Oh,
Still, if you have a way to get word to them, it might be good to do so.
Yeah, we probably should. We probably should.
I couldn't help but hear you mentioned armor. We certainly don't have to stop, but if you happen to know where I might find some, I'm always looking for a chance to upgrade.
What
while
kind of
we're
money you
here,
got?
do you mind if we
Mm,
plenty?
not a whole lot.
I have plenty. I'll pay.
I don't want your diamond cross diamonds, friend. I wouldn't touch that stuff with a 10-foot pole.
Uh, I I have actual money.
Oh.
Besides, besides, hot diamonds, on fire diamonds.
The
Um,
I do suppose my plan was to find work once I got to the city, but the cult seems a little more pressing.
well, I'm a little concerned about bringing out ancient armor. I could probably have something reforged for you, but I don't necessarily, with the knowledge of what you've told me about these cultists and their obsession with ancient and old things, I don't really feel comfortable in breaking out a perhaps several thousands of years old armor piece made of a metal that hasn't been seen by a Zotian perhaps ever. And, you know, you understand where I'm
Well,
saying?
that does certainly that does sound quite impressive, but no, it was just that the mention of it brought the thought to mind, and I don't know the city, so I thought perhaps you might know where I could begin looking.
For armor?
Yes.
Well, I could probably help you with that, but my cousins would know more about that. Um, I could potentially reforge something for you, but I'm more of a shipbuilder than a metal worker, you know? Um,
Mm.
I do know some good metal workers. If you want something bespoke, but it's not gonna be cheap. It's gonna be few hundred gold at least.
Yes. As I said, I'm mostly looking for information right now and find a way to pay for it in time.
Okay. Yeah, I can't really hand off my family heirlooms to you just for safety reasons, and it just wouldn't be right in general when it comes to that sort of thing. Um,
Oh, I would never. I wouldn't ask. No, of course. As I said, just the mention um, brought the thought to my mind.
yeah. I should say, out of security and safety, most of the Berry family doesn't live in this area, though we always have some sort of steward out here handling the location, and it happened to fall upon me, the turtle. Um, you know how it goes.
Of course.
Um, well, now that you've seen this, unavoidably, although I could have knocked you out or put a bag over your head or something, um, would you like to head on to Lorne?
Yes, let's go.
Alright.
Um, you make your way across the cavern, take some time, and Turtle asks you to help him with the oars because there's no wind under here. There's no current or anything. So he gets out to the side and goes downstairs, sticks an oar through the side of the boat, and requests that you all help him as well. And after you've crossed the lake, you end up at what is seemingly just the other end of the cavern. It's just a wall. He brings the boat up to a pedestal in the water, just kind of sticking out off the edge of one of the stone piers that stick out. He goes over to it, opens up a hatch, and a similar little metal bauble sticks up out of it. It's sharp on the end. He pulls out his arm and stabs it right on top of it, and lets the blood of his arm drip down onto it. You can see the blood seeping into this mechanism and pooling into various crevices and engraved lines on it. It seems to react to it, and suddenly you hear this kind of low frequency vibrating, kind of shaking through your chest. And if you look up to the wall in front of you, it starts to shimmer and kind of haze and almost looks like the surface of water, but it's a cave wall. He gets back on the boat and
Says, well, we have not too much time, but let's get through this thing quickly.
you begin rowing, and the boat, instead of crashing into the wall, just starts to pass through it. The boat begins to, and Leo, you've experienced kind of similar fall stores before, but nothing to this scale, nothing to this degree, in a sense. The entire boat goes through this shimmering illusion, essentially, and if you were to turn around once you're on the other side, it just looks like more cave wall. And you're in yet another natural looking cavern winding its way. You pass through a couple more of these shimmering walls. It looks like there's a bit of a fail-safe system in which as he's bleeding, he goes up and opens yet another one of these locks opens up another wall, and you pass through at least a few of them. After some time, he takes a bandage and wraps on his arm.
I always hate doing that.
And it looks like you're now in a natural oceanside cavern. You've taken some time winding your way out to it, and you can hear the crashing of the oceans. The waves are splashing against large boulders at the mouth of it. You find yourself in this large opening to where an entire warship can go through, and there's these protruding reefs and boulders and such around the mouth of the cave that, if you weren't skilled, you could easily crash your ship and sink it on the edge.
Just after the blood situation, when Turtle's bandaging up, could Samira put like a single point of healing on that?
Sure. Yeah.
And we'll do that.
He nods to you and says,
Thank you. That's very useful.
he pulls back the bandage.
That's all better, huh?
As you're
So,
go ahead.
yeah. Samira just says, "My pleasure."
Oh, for sure. As you're exiting the cave, you'll look behind you, and as the boat is going out to sea, the ocean isn't necessarily quiet. It's rocking you back and forth, but it's not necessarily stormy. It's just a really active sea. As you look behind you, the mouth of the cave is coming out of a cliffside with hills that roll back into the landscape behind you. It doesn't look like you're in the bayou anymore, or not the swampy part of it anyway. After all, Turtle did say you're half a day's sail southward of Talorn. He begins to point the boat northward, and you all start traveling back. Is there anything you want to do while you're on this ocean trip?
At some point, I think Samira carries this flute with her. I think she just might sit down with her axe in her lap and just play an old song she knows.
Okay,
Catching fish with telekinesis.
cool. Yeah, Turtle informs you all that this is going to be about half a day's sail, so they'll probably show up in town around the evening, early afternoon perhaps, but probably the evening.
Leo's gonna check along the shoreline or anywhere in general, cliffs, tops of them, all of that. He's looking for the discrepancies that invisibility causes.
Give
To
me
see
a...
if there's anybody along the lines of sight.
Now, while you are sailing close to the shore, you're not so close that your natural eyes could necessarily see very well the details of like a person standing on the shoreline. Certainly harder if they're invisible.
I don't have a spyglass. Didn't somebody pick up a spyglass at some point? Where'd the spyglass
Someone
go?
did. I think Sebastian had one, I think.
Oh. Darn it. Never mind then. If he has it, it's kind of... Then I
Yeah.
can't use that. Oh well.
Not in play. Like the things you're talking about though are like if someone's standing there and grass is being displaced, that kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can roll perception, but I'm gonna tell you it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Shit.
to your knowledge, nobody's out there. You wouldn't be able to tell if anyone is watching you. Just
Yeah,
looks
it's
like
fine.
coastline. as the rolling hills throughout the day slowly sort of turn shallower and shallower to almost where the ground sort of blends in with the ocean itself and turns to a more swampy land. um, After some time, the the evening comes around. Leo, you manage to catch some fish with telekinesis. Do you cook it up for the group?
Uh, he'll cook up a handful of them, sure. Why not?
All right. Spending your time on the boat, um, you do find the cooking provisions that exist. It's a small boat, but it's well sorted. After all, it is berry built, and you find yourself basically cooking on a flat stone with a fire under it, um, and the fire is of course contained within further stone. And you're handing that out to everybody, and you're just kind of having a pleasant day. It's not like super turbulent, but the sails are catching a lot of wind, and the boat is rocking back and forth all evening. Um, Better than the drain, yes. I forgot to delete or ban this person. Hold on. Okay. And Samira, you're just kind of playing along as snacks are being handed around, uh, as you're making music, and it's almost cheery, and you, for a moment, all sort of forget about the cult for a moment. You're just on like a nice little boat trip right now. As the evening sets and the sun crests over noon, and it's been some time after that, you can start to see the beginning of the Port of Talorn. You can see the sails of large ships parked at the port. In the distance, they tower up into the sky. You can start to see some clusters of buildings and various outlying farmlands, rice fields and such as you're getting closer. I'm going to copy the map to you so that you can see it.
I think as they are approaching the city, Samira will sort of stand at the bow of the ship, and she holds her axe close to her chest, sort of the blade flat against her chest. And there's a stone affixed to the axe. It's not a particularly valuable looking stone. It's just something, it's something, it's pretty, but it's not like a gemstone of some spectacular quality.
Yeah.
But she makes sure that's facing the town, the city as they approach, and she just sort of mutters to herself, "Would you look at that?"
As you're saying that, it's almost as if she's listening to you. You can sort of feel it in your soul. The city is larger and more organized and built up than anything you've ever seen before. Being nomadic, you've seen various buildings and especially ritual sites, but not buildings on top of other buildings, smashed next to other buildings, all of various shapes. And you can start to see as the light gets dimmer, there's still plenty of it, but you can see various lanterns all along the streets, people playing music. You can sort of hear it in the distance. It just seems very lively.
Yeah, I think anyone close enough can probably overhear Samira saying, "Promised I'd take you somewhere like this someday."
Turtle will hear that and go,
Xerox a friend there, eh?
My axe is an axe, but it lets me communicate with someone.
He nods and just kind of doesn't question it. Says,
Well, I hope the conversations go well. And
They do. They do.
that's good.
She was always, always a wonderful conversationalist.
not in like an imposing way, but in sort of like as friendly as he can manage, given the way to interact. He sort of like bows and presents with his arm towards the city.
Welcome to my home, you two, the Port of Tilorn.
Thank you.
He nods his head and gets over to the wheel of the ship and starts steering it into the city. Oh, I want to open that up for the viewers. 1 second. Okay. It's not the best for the stream, but you get the gist. Cool. Finally reached your goal. Heck yeah. It's a good goal. As you're entering the port of Tilorn, you'll notice that the docks around are filled with various algae and kelp and other things. Lots of life growing on the posts of each pier and dock as it juts out into the ocean. As you start to enter the main channel of the city, there's lots of boats coming and going on both sides. You'll notice that on the ocean, on the side of all the water fronts, are buildings that jut out into it. Some are literally floating and are crafting food, and some are hosting little dances. And you can hear brothels. You can hear cheering and other sorts of things. You can hear some shots and screams in other areas, not gunshots, but like shots of like a large stick beating something else, or a weapon clashing against another. It's a very busy and chaotic city as you're entering in. Just another day in Tilorn.
Samira is absolutely fascinated.
It's it might even be a bit overwhelming. Audibly anyway. There's various drawbridges you're noticing as you're going through the main river that weaves through the city. They're wooden and they're manned on either side by some sort of person just sitting there with a large crank that they use to lift the bridges up and down. And as boats pass through and people wait on either side, they sometimes come down, people walk across, and then they go back up so that ships can pass through. Sorry, my cat is bugging. As you're going through this main area and you hear all this ruckus, essentially, the planes girl ready for city life. Here we go. The numerous buildings, they seem to be mostly made of wood. Some are made of stone, some jut into each other, some are very organized, others look like they're falling over on each other. You can see various like logs and things holding up the sides of other buildings as they collapse over. There seems to be people still active and living in them as you go by. The boat reaches one of these smaller channels, and the city seems to be divided into all these various little waterways and channels. You'll have neighborhoods that are stuck together on land, but the main avenues of the city are traveled by boat. As you travel southward into the town itself, if you look at the map, the boat ends up close to Blue Tower, heading further back in there, which Leo will remember being that is where the cafe and the kobold friend lived from earlier. Leo, as all this is going on, do you have any thoughts or anything?
Leo just wants to get Turtle back to his fam. That's what he's focusing on right now.
Okay. Fair enough.
There are the other problems, but he is not focusing on them right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me get you the other. I'll just point it out where it is specifically, because why not? Alright, so you make your way through the center of the city, over and up into Blue Tower. If you look at on the map where the green arrow is pointing and the two little green dots, that's where you're heading. As the boat pulls up to it, you'll recognize that this is the cafe that you met the berries at initially. You sat out on that deck and had that conversation with them, which initiated this quest originally. Turtle will simply drive the boat up to the dock, tie the boat to the side, and jump on as if he was any other customer that arrived by water. The restaurant is busy. People are eating food, people standing around. You can see waiters going in and out of the kitchen and things. You've now arrived at...
It's a lunch rush.
Huh?
I guess it's a lunch rush.
Yeah.
Or early dinner? I don't know what time it is.
Dinner. It's dinner time.
Dinner time? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Let's
late
go get
evening,
dinner,
early.
everybody.
Yeah.
I could definitely use something fresh to eat. I'm glad to be here. Oh my god.
Turtle, relieved, just kind of steps onto the deck, leaves out a big sigh, and starts calling out for Clever and Rare. I'll do the description, since Samira hasn't seen it before. Recommended by Hardeen and Dinofa, Haliska restaurant is run by a lovely tabaxi woman named Rareberry. She's well known in Blue Tower for making really good coffee and breakfast foods. Oh, sorry, Clever is the one that married in. My bad. She's well known in Blue Tower for making good coffee and breakfast foods, pastries, eggs, fresh fruit, sweetbreads. In the afternoon, her restaurant turns into a seafood dinery run by her partner, Cleverberry. They're clanmates and partners that share the workload of the restaurant. The restaurant itself is a two-story building on one of the main river avenues in Talorn. There's a two-story patio deck on the water side, with the lower one extending out over the water itself. Boats are often tied up here as people come and go from the cafe, as you are right now. Ornamental pillars and furniture adorn the restaurant, vines hanging down from various points along the roof and walls of the building itself. Hanging planters from the eaves house colorful flowers, and on the perimeter handrail of the decks are stone torches. The inside of the cafe smells of fresh food and toasty fires. There's a central fireplace that crackles dutifully while the murmur of patrons chatting fills the air. You can see that fireplace as you're stepping up onto the deck with the open windows, with it kind of emanating outwards, keeping an even temperature in the area, though if you were in the kitchen, you'd say otherwise. After some time, it doesn't take long for Turtle's imposing figure standing over all the patrons eating catches the attention of one of the waiters, and they quickly rush back to the kitchen. Not long after, Rare comes flying out. You see a white-furred tabaxi with pink eyes. She has a piercing in her left ear with a dangling raspberry made of gems. She wears light blue overalls with a strawberry embroidery and black apron, with a pastel pink frilled pirate shirt to finish off the outfit. You can see this white tabaxi running out of the kitchen with food splatter all over the apron and stuff, and she's clearly been in the kitchen cooking. She rushes out and gives jumps into Turtle's arms. And exclaims, "I knew they would do it! Thank goodness." She kind of like after having an exchange with Turtle, looks over to you, Leo, and says, "Thank you so much. I'm so glad to have him back."
It's not a problem. We did our best and we succeeded this time. So I'm just real happy your cousin's back and safe, and all the other good stuff.
Me too. We really needed him. It's been. We've had some people coming around lately, and we need his presence. I mean,
What kind of people?
oh, the usual, just trying to intimidate us.
Hmm.
That's how it goes as an information broker. When you know things, people know you know things, and sometimes that clashes, especially when your muscle is, as she pats the shoulders of her cousin, is missing. It gets a little sketchy.
That's fair.
Samira definitely can't help herself smiling at seeing family reunited.
Excellent. She notices you, goes, "Well, I don't think we've met. Was she part of your group before?"
No, but out of a series of circumstances, she is currently joining us.
Samira will step forward and offer her hand and introduce herself. I am Samira.
She looks up at Turtle. Is she on the up? Turtle looks over at you, looks back at her, shrugs.
I may as well. She's seen a lot.
"Well, welcome." And she puts her hand on your shoulder. "Nice to meet you, Samira. Would you like something to eat? We're in the middle of dinner rush right now."
Oh, yes. Yes, something to eat would be perfect.
"I'm sure your travel has been rough, to say the least. We have shrimp bisque, crab cakes, boiled crawfish, shrimp and grits." She keeps just like prattling off all these food items. Mostly seafood.
Samira is now feeling definitely a little overwhelmed at the whole city experience.
Uh, let's see. Do you try and hide that?
I don't think so.
Okay. She noticed the overwhelm. "I'll just get you some gumbo. You'll like it. Don't worry."
That
And
sounds lovely.
and she goes to the back and gets to working on the food. After some
Yay,
time,
food.
another tabaxi comes out of the back. Also looks like she's been in the middle of cooking, and walks up and gives Turtle a big hug. "It's nice to have you back, cousin." This is Cleverberry. They wear a black bow tie and a red beanie, a white collared shirt with a red pleated skirt, and dark gray leggings. Clever leads you all to a private room in the upstairs, sort of in the back above the kitchen. It seems to have two walls. When you enter it from where people are eating, there's like a little reception room where you can put up your coat, you can hang your shield or put your swords down, anything like that. And through another door is a private room, so it's got two walls separating it. And it's got nice couches around the outside that seem to be stuffed with horsehair or something of that sort. Nice plush furniture. It looks to be of skilled woodwork. There's a table in the middle with dining tables all around. This place will be better for us to talk, especially during the middle of lunch rush. You never know who's coming through. You'll notice that and she kind of indicates to various chairs sitting around. And as you're doing this, you'll notice that there are no windows in this room. Do you all take a seat?
Samira. Yeah,
Yeah.
Samira will also hang up her shield, but she does keep her axe close.
Okay. Um, oops. As you all begin to sit down, oh my gosh, my brain went blank. Sorry about that. Turtle looks and says to you all,
Well, it's been great. I'm probably gonna come back and grab a bite to eat, but I need to go check on my guys. You know what I mean? Um, I'll be back soon.
and he exits the room and heads somewhere else, presumably. After some time, Rare comes back with plates of food, bowls of soup, and sets them out in front of you and sits down with you, bringing herself something to eat as well. Well, I am so glad you guys made it. I don't know where the rest of your group is, though, Leo. But I suppose you're okay to represent them, yes?
Uh, yeah. Actress was supposed to show up yesterday. You not?
Oh, the druidic friend. Yes, he did. He did. We were concerned that you had died. So he's currently laying low, but he is alive.
Alright. If you can pass a message to the others to also lay low for now, I would appreciate that. I'm pretty sure they're already in hiding anyways, but, if you're able to pass them a message, just, tell them that.
Yeah, last I talked with them, I don't know what happened to Guardian, but I do believe that she was interacting with some Carnova in town, maybe some sort of clan business, and then the scholarly one, what's his name? Sebastian. He, well, ahead of the mission finishing, I did give him a little bit of info regarding something that he seemed interested in, and so he's off studying that in Duskford, which is at the other end of town right now. So
Alright, that's good at least. I'm glad they're all alive at the very least.
yeah, as far as I know, all are alive. She starts picking apart the bread on her table and dipping it into the soup and just kind of eating it casually. So, down to business.
Leo also starts eating casually.
For sure.
Samira follows suit with the dipping the bread.
Yeah, she's not trying to eat in a way that's like too pretentious or like proper or anything like that. She's just kind of she's expressing familiarity with you, and more interested on the task at hand at the moment. So, you've done us a great service. You've brought our cousin back, our security back, and other concerns that we shall not speak within even these walls. So do tell. What happened?
So you probably heard some of it from Turtle already, but
And your druid friend. He did say something really bad happened really fast, and he doesn't know if anyone lived, but as you sit in front of me, it looks like you did live, which is great.
yeah, we managed to scrape out of there by the skin of our teeth, thanks to your cousin. Really appreciate his assistance. So about a month ago, your cousin was kidnapped by these cultists. I will say this: I don't know if their organization even has a name. It should, but I don't know it. All I know is that they're a cult. They're a combined force of the. hundreds, maybe thousands of people, and they're all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
About a month ago, they picked him up because apparently he knew something, and they wanted the information out of him. He didn't give it to them, so they took him out of Torban. And then apparently, when they heard we were coming, they decided to maybe use him as bait, I guess, or something equivalent in that nature. And so uh, we showed up, uh, we kicked a bunch of ass, and then we got our asses handed to us. And now we sit here before you, still breathing.
That's good. Now, the one that kicked your ass, do you have any descriptions of him? Or her? Or whomever?
Uh,
Aside from being affiliated with this cult, who we have heard of.
the only things Leo saw about the cultist lady at the cabin were that she was a woman, and I think she had paler than average skin, but I don't remember if you described her hair color.
It was
'Cause she
silver.
had a hood on the whole time. She had silver hair, and she had a hood on the entire time.
I don't think she's ringing any bells. What about the other one? Was there another one?
Did Samira get a good look at the whoever was casting spells and combining crocodiles?
Alligators,
You did.
gator dials, or whatever.
It was chaotic, so I'd like both of you to run a perception check, please.
Sure.
A perception check going over something in your memory about a day ago, or 2 days. Okay.
18.
So, Samira, you didn't get a great perception. It was all rather overwhelming. As you were approaching what seemed like some sort of tussle, turned into something far greater than you were expecting it to be. And the chaos means that you did not necessarily see too much of this other woman. In fact, by the time you were involved, she was kind of out of the picture. Likely something to do with these invisibility abilities that you've been hearing about. Leo, you were in combat with this person, was able to see the other person stepping outside. And Samira, you did see this other person as well, and you also had a direct communication with the woman inside the building itself. She seemed to have a somewhat similar voice to something you've heard before. Not that people can't have similar voices, but it was kind of odd, sort of vaguely familiar. But also she had leather pauldrons over her robes as well. Perhaps some leather under her robes on top of that. She seemed to have an interest in protecting herself. The other person, whom you did both see, the man named Tersk, who that was informed to you by the cultist lady herself. He has no ears, just holes. They've been cut off. He looks to be average human height, around 6 foot. Rather weathered, looking to be about 50 years old, 60 years old. Very leathery skin, lots of scars. Doesn't wear a shirt. Has torn up cultist robes on his lower torso. Would wear a bow and arrow and a quiver, like a bow and quiver on his back, though he never really used it during the fight. He had a pendant around his neck on a long necklace, almost bottle-shaped, glowing purple colors, that sort of thing. Most of his description comes down to his abilities. His casting of fire, his twisting of bone and beast into a monstrous creature that destroyed the building very rapidly. about what you remember.
Leo will reiterate that all.
Okay. Rare seems to take this in and just kind of think about it. I think a while ago I heard of a mercenary kind of like this, but nothing with those abilities. Nobody with those abilities. I've been in this business a decent amount of time, but I'm still relatively young, but he doesn't seem like someone that would work with the cult. You described no ears, though?
Yeah.
He's an elf. Why would he cut off his ears?
To look more human. Be more human.
That's a
Any
good point.
number of reasons as he points to his own missing ear.
Well, my question is
Or
was
where
that
the
something that was
bandage is-
done to... Go ahead.
He's pointing to where, like, the bandages are covering where that ear was.
So I'm wondering if that's something he did to himself or they did to himself. That's very odd. Why would
Well-
an elf be helping the cold? I don't understand. Anyway, I owe you information. After a successful rescue of my cousin, I did promise you that we'd enter a bit more fruitful of a relationship, and so I do have info for you if you're interested.
Certainly.
We also have some money on top of that, but the true worth is in this information. She grabs a pouch from her side. There's 100 gold in it. She tosses it to you both. So add 50 to your purses. Let me know when you're done, or if you'd like assistance.
I think I've got that added there.
Okay.
Cool. Got it.
Cool. So, I have a few things to lay out for you as she's continuing to eat her food. She almost talks between bites, like as if it's just any other day. The cults that you've been talking about, we know them as the cults of the old ones, no other name beyond that, but we should probably create a snappier name for them, or something that we can talk about them derogatively. I'm open to options, but they're causing problems for our business. She takes a bite of her bread slightly aggressively. It's really frustrating, as she says, chewing through it. All I know is that anyone passing through the lands in the south, in the rolling hills, anyone passing through there disappears and is never heard from again. Most travelers now know to avoid that area, but under the assumption that beasts or spirits of some sort are causing the disappearances. We have word that there's been sort of excavation and construction deep in the forested hills. Rumors of it shining like ivory in low sunlight. Unfortunately, that's all the info I know, but it seems like they're gathering down there. Another bit of information I have for you. These are all things that you can take with, we can continue to interact with, but if you end up chasing something down, well, I consider our transaction done and no worries, no harm. The Diamond Cross, who you unfortunately crossed on the ocean and are carrying diamonds for them. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Please don't tell me where they are or what is happening with them. The Diamond Cross is rumored to be working with the cult. With what? I'm unknown as to what exactly. However, I suspect that the Diamond Cross may be using their existing network of indentured servitude to bolster the cult's activities. They're known to deal in people on occasion, or often, if I'm honest. Diamond Cross is known to pass through Tilorn on occasion, and is likely seeking revenge for the crew of the Brine Bath, whom you so ceremoniously killed. The bear, we're concerned that even Diamond Cross may be playing with fire in a way that they're not prepared for regarding the cult, based on what we've heard about them and how you've just described what has happened to Tersk and how he is behaving lately. She just kind of pauses for a moment, looks off to the side, shakes her head. Diamond Cross is more concerned with obtaining gems and wealth than preserving the balance of power in towns like Talorn. They tend to mess things up when it comes to the gangs and how things are run around here, but we all kind of generally have an antagonistic feeling towards them, though some of us do deal with them. 'Tis the nature of business. And some of us don't have decent morals, all things considered. They're rumored to have a hideout northward along the Continental Divide. And it's an oceanic river that runs from east to west that separates Peru and Gaduga entirely by a span of no more than a few miles at its widest. Somewhat near the eastern mouth, they have it's almost like carved in the side of an outcropping. Like it's a stonework that's been carved open into a hideout, essentially. I've never been there, but I've heard of it. It's not a place I would go at all. I like it here in the cafe. Now, another thing that concerns your Carnova friend. They were asking about Dragonborn, and we do know of a clan that's nearby. They occupy a cavern system to the northeast of Tarbent, where the bayou begins to turn to grasslands. Among sparse oak forests, they are surrounded by endless wild grain that is often harvested by nomadic farmers. They're very secretive, and what they're up to, what they do, we don't know. Sometimes they come into town. You can see them on occasion, but if you'd like to go visit them, they're available. Now, last thing, laundering your diamonds, getting rid of the heat. Is that of interest to you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Last bit of info I have for you. There's a hobgoblin man that goes by the name of Avled the Hungry. He controls several blocks of the city in the center of Talorn, on the north end of South Market. He runs a criminal organization called the Starving, that on the surface feeds many of Talorn's orphans. He does a great job, by the way, of taking care of the lost and lonely, making sure they can get back up on their feet, and I do appreciate him greatly for that. However, he does actually help people, but under the surface of this front is an organization that takes part in all kinds of financial dishonesty and document forgery. He's well known as a clever accountant that can, as he likes to say, soothe your bookkeeping ailments, and provide business administration services to all sorts of clients in Talorn and beyond the surrounding land of Peru. Talorn is a famously lawless place, as you know. You can get away with buying and selling just about anything here without concern, but goods from all over the world pass through here, and other places may require certain legitimacies, which he specializes in. Avled is someone you can more than likely count on. I say more than likely, I never will fully trust Avled. He's kind of sketchy, and he's just kind of sleazy in the way he dresses. It's just tacky, I can't handle it, but like, he's probably your best bet regarding the diamonds.
He's got no fashion sense.
No, he has great fashion. No, okay. It's fashion sense for those who like that kind of fashion. I find it tacky. Lots of rings, lots of earrings, and then they're like really chunky and like his clothes are always a little too tight. It's like he's compensating for something, but he's generally a good guy. I think, usually, as good as someone like him can be. He feeds kids at least.
I mean, as long as he's not abusing the kids, I think that's
Some
just a good standard.
Some do end up in the starving as gang members as they age, but none of them are forced. From what I understand, a lot of them do go on and live lives far away from crime, but some of them do end up among his ranks.
Well, I'd certainly like to meet him. Not right now, though. Got a bit of a.
Samira will sort of idly pad her pocket where she stowed
Yeah,
the diamond, and she'll say, "We might want to see about meeting with him sooner."
Oh
he's on
yeah,
the
if
list. He's second on the list.
I'd recommend it,
What's
seeing as you're
first?
walking around with, well, your secrets are safe with me and the various others that you've met on your way to this city, but people are talking about the brain bath. They want to know who killed it. So,
What is first on the list? Out of curiosity.
Checking on those Dragonborn. At least in my book, they're they're probably the most highest priority targets out of anything that's essentially we'll politely call non-human in
In
their
terms
eyes.
of the cult?
Yeah, in their eyes, Dragonborn would be the biggest eyesore. They would definitely be targeting them, and I mean, if there's any missing persons, that's definitely something we should investigate in general.
I will say, I
The
haven't
thing
heard of many
is
of the Dragonborn going missing unless they are in town itself. And from what I understand, the cult does observe people in secret pretty often. It's possible that you may end up leading them to the Dragonborn. Just a tale of caution, based on past or current events, essentially.
fair enough. In
Something
that
to consider.
case, first, first instead, we'll make the dragonkin, third instead. Uh,
Seems like
Missing
maybe
persons first, for me, anyways.
it seems like settling some financial matters might be more immediate. We can do that.
And regarding those financial matters, I do know that you had interest in purchasing a ship. I've heard of this, and I understand that that's why you want to liquidate the diamonds instead of get rid of them or use them for some other thing. Is that correct?
It is one of the things that we were intending on taking care of.
It is a lot of responsibility to have a ship, but I do
Believe
know.
me, I am aware.
Okay. Well, Turtle has informed me that he's willing to build you a ship if you want to wait for him and his crew to craft one. It's going to be expensive, but coming from my own word as a berry, it's going to be probably the best ship you can buy. It will take time, and he's unwilling to take the diamonds as payment.
That's understandable.
Yeah, but if you do want to work with him, he'd be more than happy to help you out and do something a bit bespoke. Otherwise, you can go to the shipyard and purchase an existing ship if you would like to, though none of them are going to be as nice as what Turtle can make. Some might be overpriced, some might be rotten and damaged, and most certainly using the
I
diamonds will come with unintended consequences. And even some of those ships, if you do buy them with gold, may still come with unintended consequences. Some boats are stolen.
I think I'll just I think I think everybody would probably end up agreeing on this. Waiting on uh, Turtle to take care of making a ship would be the wisest course. It's not like we're in a rush to get out of town right now, anyways.
Understood.
We gotta deal
Understood.
with the problems here
You can always come back
because the problems
and
back home are going to be growing, anyways.
yeah, you can always come back and obtain your ship as well if you do decide that you need to leave town for a while. It's not going to be something that he can even finish in a month. Like, this is going to be a long project, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly am. It also gives us a chance to decide what the party wants to do with the ship, because currently the only party members here are Vela and me from the original one, and Vela will only join us after the Brine Fest, so
Um,
uh,
Also, Vela mentioned on the way. This is the DM. Uh, Vela mentioned on the way back that she was interested in carrying on and moving on to deal with things that aren't the cults on her way back into town. So when you did arrive at the cafe, she just kind of split.
thank you for that heads up. And currently, the only party members that are available are hiding right now. So
Yeah.
ship is definitely not a high priority on the list of things that are needed right now. If I need a ship, I'll just charter passage for now, anyways.
Sounds good.
I
It
gotta
sounds
get.
as though
Go ahead.
sounds sounds as though we have issue with these pirates, as
Oh, the
well as
Diamond Cross,
the
they're the worst. Oh god, I hate dealing with them.
Yeah, they're definitely on the list. Where I don't know yet, but maybe we should move them up a little bit.
they seem. I
Connected at
don't.
the very least.
It could be a way to learn more about the cult and their movements, but regardless, I don't think I could allow a group like that to operate unhindered if I can do anything about it.
We do our best
I
to keep them out of
definitely agree with
Talarn,
that.
but, you know, everyone is welcome, and that comes with bad and good things, for sure. Um, but yeah, generally, when they show up, most of us give them the cold shoulder. And, sometimes it gets really nasty, and the city becomes a bit less cheerful for a while. Um, they're connected. They operate on multiple continents. They're they're expansive. So any sort of attack that goes against the Diamond Cross is not going to be something that takes them down. I will tell you that. But you can always whittle away.
Dang it! Now there's two giant organizations after my head. Great.
And this is why we need to work together, because until recent memory, nobody's ever had this kind of reach and power and collection of group. I guess that's kind of the way of the world these days.
Certainly seems like it.
Yeah. I've even heard of people building giant stone fortresses to live in and hide in, and they keep gathering people to protect them, and like from what? Anyway, it's just weird.
Oh, damn it! These people are. This is too far. This is too big. I'm just a smuggler. Why? Why are they so big? Oh God. He's like holding the bridge of his nose like, God, this is such a pain. I
I
do
think
greatly appreciate the assistance of fairies, of course, just in general.
I feel you though. I am a simple restaurateur and information broker. Unfortunately, the information is becoming increasingly information-y. She just kind of gives you a big smile.
Yeah. The information's probably going to end up getting wilder from here on out, I guarantee you that. Prices are going to skyrocket on it.
Sometimes prices going up can be a good thing. Not always, though.
You're not wrong. Anyways, we've got some leads, we've got some ideas about where to go next.
If you do talk to Avled, tell him Rare sent you.
All right. Appreciate that.
She nods.
Also, thank you for the food. I definitely missed home cooking.
Oh, of course, of course. Would you like seconds or dessert or anything like that?
I'd like seconds, thirds, and desserts if that's possible.
You've got it. She gets up from her plate. I need to go back to cooking anyway. We're having more customers, I have a feeling. Um, she gets up, takes the empty plates and bowls, and heads out of the room. Feel free to make yourselves at home for the night.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Oh, and there's bedrolls in the mudroom here, uh, under one of the seats, the benches there. You'll find them if you need to sleep in here.
Great. Really appreciate that one.
She exits the room, and you two are now alone.
Once she's
Oh.
gone, Samira will retrieve the diamond she was given and say, "I'm afraid I don't know much about these things. If we can sell this off, would it be enough to pay for that armor I've been looking for, or
Oh,
purchase a horse?"
probably. You could buy a small house with that there and
Oh,
live for, I don't know, the next 30 years without having to work.
I see.
That's probably pushing a little bit on some scales. It's a little bit of a sliding scale, I'll admit. Maybe buying a house in 10 years might be more accurate. Anyways, but then again, that's also only if like you're buying cheap stuff. Anyways, uh,
Well,
I will say we can get that one um uh cleaned up, we'll say, and the others can wait. The others have been stashed. I'm gonna need the berries to help me get it back, but honestly, I'm fine leaving it where it is right now.
this might help serve as a sort of trial run with our new friend.
Yeah, that would be a good one. It would only be that one for now. I hope that's okay.
I could use new armor and a horse, and other than that, I only need what I
I
need
will
to live.
say, I will say, I do have access to uh, a mode of transportation. My friends and I, we have a wagon with a pair of camels and a crossbow. It's a smuggler's cart, so it's pretty good for the most part. And
It's it's more about I suppose I'm just I'm used to horses.
that's fair.
You do only have one camel, by the way, right now.
Oh, right. We only have one camel. My bad.
There's room for a horse.
Yeah.
So it's a two-team
Uh,
wagon.
we we could probably make that work. Maybe. Um, we also got a Karas's chair in that cart too.
Chair?
Yeah, he has a magical chair.
Hmm. All right then.
Uh, when you sit in it, it allows you to view the area surrounding you kind of as a whole. Since it's not in its original location, it only does a small area rather than the large area that it was in, which was, I mean, the large area was a really big ass house, like a manor of some kind. It could extend the whole like manor and everything, but now it's just a very wide area that is around it. So we keep it on the cart. He rests and keeps watch at the same time, and anybody who sits in it can also kind of use the whole like zone of observation, I guess you could call it.
By the way,
That does seem
Crested,
very useful.
when you did get back to the cafe, Crested went to Jardine's house to go check on the cart, the camel, and the chair.
Great, cool. He can stay there for now.
All right.
He was covered up in disguise, of course, right?
Yes.
Before we, yeah, cool.
He was cloaked.
Great.
He was the tall, awkward cloaked man.
Hmm.
He assured you he'd be safe.
Great. I might have to ask Clever about something, but I guess we can wait for talk to her about that later. But yeah, we can clean up your diamond, get you re-outfitted if that's what you're looking to do.
I
can
had
also
hoped.
We can
Yes,
also
the-
ask Clever about places we can pick that sort of stuff up at.
Yes, I had hoped a city like this would be a place I could restock, prepare.
Just chiming in as DM, yes, you definitely can. In here. After some time, food comes back up. Rare is holding various plates and things, including some desserts, which look like pastries from the morning, but there's a whole pile of them. Knock, knock.
Yay, food!
She enters the room carrying all of this. There's various like trays and things, and she's bringing more in. Puts down the basket of pastries. They're from this morning, but I figured you may as well eat them instead of going to wherever else. You earned it.
Appreciate that. Couple quick questions.
Sure.
Shops around the area. Any of note?
Well, what are you looking for?
Samira here is looking to upgrade equipment. And I mean, I won't say no to that either. I'm looking for more. And he pulls out a potion. More of these.
Oh, well, there's always Terribles. It looks like you got that from Terribles. You know where that is. She just kind of
Yeah,
looks at
I
you
did.
like you're kind of goofy. Yeah, they always have stuff. If you're not satisfied with Terrible's Apothecary, there is more further down into the South Market. But honestly, I like Terrible's the best if I ever need to send anyone there. Also, there are a few blacksmiths and armorers if you're looking for martial weapons. I'll draw. She gets out a scroll and pulls a pen from the center of the table. It looks like business is done here rather often, and she starts drawing out maps of like little stores and stuff down in the South Market. Is there anything else in particular you're looking for?
I'm looking for something similar to this. And he pulls off the invisibility ring. Not one of these, just similar stuff to this. I don't know what specifically to call it. Basically, something like this. Looking
Rings?
for these types of items.
Jewelry?
No, like stuff that can do stuff like this. Basically, I'm looking for an eye replacement.
Oh, well, turning invisible is very different from having an eye. I know of a prosthetic shop, but I don't think there's anything special about it, unless you just aesthetically want an eye. They do
Would be
craft them.
nice at some point.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can't think of anything.
yeah.
She just kind of like, incurious, just kind of looks at the ring because she hasn't seen one up close. It doesn't seem like a special ring at all, does it? It's just ornamental.
Yeah, it doesn't look it doesn't look all that great. I mean, even this, and he pulls out the scimitar, and lights it on fire for a second, and then he puts it out. Even this, it just looks like a scimitar, right? Like, all of them had mass produced these things. And these.
That's concerning. I don't think I've even seen anything like that. I mean, I've heard rumors of strange things, but I just assume it's like in descriptions of something, it's like, oh, someone has, you know, the strength of they're so strong that fire comes out of their blade. Right? That's very curious. May I hold that?
Hands it over. Looking for more stuff like that.
It ignites.
Like, sword, like
She
the sword, the ring, just in general, stuff like that.
she waves it around. No, no, I'm sorry. Wow. I don't think I've seen anything like this before. Or heard of anything made here in Taloran, unfortunately. A lot of stuff comes through here, but
Nothing like that. Got it.
not that I would know. Others might. But that's not really my business. I tend to look at the bigger picture and that which affects organizations and trade in general, not curious things like this. She sort of gingerly hands it back to you.
He takes it and sheaths it. Well, if you happen to hear about it, or find any information, that's definitely something I'm looking for.
I will put out the word.
Appreciate that.
But yes, if you'd like various martial weapons, they are available, and she points on the map just south of where Alved is at. Let's see. Drawing a map. Drawing a map.
I think when there is a lull
Mm-hmm.
in Leo talking, the Samara will launch into a series of questions about how people about the state of horse training here. She has experience with this from her past, and she is curious to know. He has a number of very specific questions that yeah.
You're just asking about horse trainers, essentially, or?
I mean, what she's driving at is wants to know if there are horses that are, trained to. I mean, in game terms, she's looking for a war horse.
Okay.
So she's looking for horses that are trained to be able to ignore or deal with, battlefield conditions.
I see.
But she is. This is what one of the things that her sort of culture was based around.
Okay.
So she has very specific questions that she may or may not get answers to.
I hear it. So, on the map that I just sent to you all, the green encircled area is basically Avled the Hungry's territory. That's all run by the Starving. Down south of that, where that upside down J is, that is a large blacksmithery, in which many martial weapons and armors are created. It's separate from the town because of all the heat and noise that it makes. It has its own block, essentially. So she's kind of directing you in that area. Now, in regards to the horses, she hears all what you're saying. Is just kind of like nodding as you're going through all these like specific technical horse terms that she has no idea about. She's not necessarily a fighter or anybody that has like ridden a horse much at all. Um, but she's like smiling courteously as you're doing all this. She doesn't seem like bothered or anything. Information's her game. Um, and as you're saying all this, she just thinks for a minute and goes, well, I would say most horses that are being sold in the markets around here, they tend to be battle hardened, and if not, they're used to noises and things like that. Now, what you're describing is something a little different, something more than the average pack animal that comes from Tilorn. Yes, I don't know all the specifics of what you're talking about, but there are stables. They are north near the rock. And I don't know them very well. I don't really, not many people here have uses for horses, but there are stables and pastures out here where horses are brought here, and other animals, of course, in which they are trained, taken care of, stored for a while before going off to sea again, because sea is rough on the animals themselves. The merchandise, and she like smacks her paws on top, like has one paw out with the palm facing her, and then the other one, the top of her paws, like hitting it, and like as she's saying it, like the merchandise has to stay in good shape, and so I recommend going and talking to them there. You can't miss it. Large stables, large buildings. They likely have what you need. But I don't know specifically. Not generally the kind of request I get.
I suppose it wouldn't be a common thing to look for in a city like this.
No, most of us travel by boat, or on foot. But people do come through with horses all the time. Camels even, like these fine folks. She points to, or like gestures to Leo. I've heard of all kinds of animals coming through here, but as far as like specific trainings and what dressage, what was the thing you were talking about? I don't know, but I would go talk to them.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm gonna grab a piece of the rock for you.
With her questions answered, I do think Samira will go back to eating. This is very good food, and she is enjoying it.
Excellent. The region in which, or the little snippet of the map that I just showed you, there are farms out there to the left, but that first one is one of the larger stables, with various pastures of animals, and then the markets of the animals when it comes to like chickens, goats, camels, elephants, even whatever comes through there, that ends up under the of the rock, just above that park.
Okay, very good.
Well, you two, is there anything else I can get for you before I head out for the evening and leave it to yourselves?
No, that's pretty much it as far as I'm aware.
Excellent. Well, I hope that we benefit each other as time goes on. As it sounds like that's needed, given the current circumstances.
Agreed.
It was a pleasure doing business with you. She gives a small curtsy and exits the room.
Leo starts going to eat.
And on that note, everybody, I think that's a great time for us to end for the evening. You can make your decisions around where you'd like to go afterwards in the meantime, and we will reconvene either in the evening as you're eating or in the morning after you've had some sleep. Either one, as far as in-game goes. Any other tidying up you'd like to do before we close off the stream?
I think that's it. I think Samira's got what she needs right now.
Mm-hmm. We're good right now.
All right.
I do not regret leaving the diamonds behind. Even though I just heard about a fence, I do not regret it.
Yeah. Yeah. Possibly wise.
I just have to go back. Yeah, I just have to go back. It's fine.
You just
I don't
have to
care.
You just have to convince the berries to let you into their super secret stronghold again. It's fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I'll deal with it later. Like I said, it's insurance money.
Fair.
Just tell them what you stashed there. They'll let you.
I don't know that they'll be happy.
They'll let you get it out, maybe.
We'll want it out. Or it'll end up getting incinerated. Because it is among a pile of like wood and refuse, so who knows. On that note, thank you everybody for participating in Zotian Epoch episode 34 and for watching it as well. That's gonna be it for tonight. No combat, but sometimes you just gotta roleplay. Next week there won't be a game, but the week after there will be, so that's going to be the 22nd of April. I got nothing else other than take care of yourselves, be kind to yourself, step away from the internet when you need to reset, but do pay attention to what's going on in the world. It's a scary place, and be there for each other. With much love, go through your weeks as best as you can, and we'll see you the Tuesday after next. Thanks so much.